Okay, so let's just jump right in. I want to talk about something that honestly sounds way too simple to be true. It's this natural compound, right? It costs less than a cup of coffee, takes maybe 5 seconds a day, and there's a mountain of research showing it can transform your health in ways that are just, well, they're stunning even the scientists.
Yeah, we're talking about creatine monohydrate. And the big question we're digging into here is pretty simple. What if this one tiny daily habit, just 5 grams of powder, could unlock some really profound changes all across your body? Because, let me tell you, the science is absolutely wild.
Now look, I know what you're probably thinking as soon as you hear the word creatine. Oh, isn't that just for, gym rats and bodybuilders trying to get huge? And that right there is the single biggest misconception out there. We're going to bust that myth wide open today, because the latest research shows this stuff affects pretty much every system in your body. So here's the game plan. We're going to do a countdown. The top 5 science-backed benefits of a daily 5-gram creatine habit. We'll kick things off with muscles and heart health, then we'll get into bone density and your metabolism. But you are definitely going to want to stick around, because the number 1 benefit, it's so profound, neurologists are calling it a potential game changer for the way our brains age. All right, let's start with number 5, the one most of us kind of know about, muscles. But this isn't just about getting bigger biceps. Nope. This is about recharging your body's most basic energy for everyday strength, whether that's just climbing a flight of stairs or hauling groceries in from the car. So to really get how this works, we got to talk about something called ATP. The absolute easiest way to think about ATP is like this. It's the rechargeable battery that powers every single movement you make. But here's the catch. Your body only stores enough juice for about 10 seconds of all-out effort. After that, you got to recharge those batteries, and you got to do it fast. And this right here is where creatine becomes your body's own backup power generator. See, when an ATP battery gets used up, creatine, which is waiting in your muscles as phosphocreatine, it just swoops right in, donates a little piece of itself, and boom, that ATP is instantly recharged. The whole cycle happens in milliseconds, giving you a non-stop supply of power. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, it looks like this. A huge study found that adults taking 5 grams of creatine a day literally doubled their strength gains compared to the placebo group over 12 weeks. I mean, a 24% increase versus just 12%? That is a massive, massive difference. And what's really cool is the other side of that coin, recovery. The creatine group saw a 33% drop in these key inflammatory markers in their muscles. What that means for you is less soreness, plain and simple. You just bounce back way faster after any kind of physical work.
Okay, on to number 4, and you'll see how this all connects. Your heart, it is without a doubt the hardest working muscle in your body. It beats about 100,000 times a day. And just like all your other muscles, it runs on that very same ATP energy system.
The research on heart health is just so compelling. Let's just break down what we're looking at here. Studies have linked creatine to a 12% improvement in ejection fraction. That's basically how well your heart pumps blood. Then you've got an 18% boost in overall exercise capacity, and on top of all that, a 28% drop in C-reactive protein, which is a huge marker for inflammation in your whole body. And it's not just about the heart muscle itself. This number, a 14% improvement in something called flow-mediated dilation, that shows that creatine also helps your blood vessels relax and open up more easily. That is a critical sign of a healthier, more flexible cardiovascular system.
Coming in at number 3 is a benefit that most people would never ever guess. We're talking about a stronger foundation for your entire body, your bones. We tend to forget that our bones are living, active tissues. They're constantly breaking down and rebuilding, and that whole process takes a ton of energy.
And the proof is right here. This was an amazing study on postmenopausal women, a group that's obviously really focused on bone health. The women taking creatine saw more than double the increase in bone density in their lower back compared to the placebo group. Over the long haul, that means a huge drop in the risk of fractures.
And there it is again, that powerful anti-inflammatory effect. We're seeing a 41% reduction in inflammatory markers inside the bone marrow. And this is so critical because inflammation can actually trigger the cells that break down bone. So by cooling things down, creatine helps tip the scales back towards bone building.
All right, for number 2, we're zooming out to the big picture, your metabolism. This is where creatine's power across the whole system really starts to shine. It's not just affecting one part of you, but your body's entire energy economy. So here's the breakdown. A huge analysis of 22 different studies found that creatine consistently helps you build about 2.2 pounds of lean body mass. Now that extra muscle is active tissue. It burns more calories even when you're just sitting on the couch. It might not sound like a lot, but over a year, that can actually translate to an extra 5 to 7 pounds of fat loss without changing anything else.
Okay, now this is fascinating. Your body fat, especially the fat around your organs, it isn't just sitting there doing nothing. It can actually produce inflammatory compounds, but research shows creatine can lead to a 37% reduction in these compounds, directly fighting that low-grade inflammation right at one of its sources.
But as powerful as all of that is, your muscles, your heart, your bones, your metabolism, the most profound, the most absolutely shocking impact of this simple 5-gram habit, it's not what you'd expect at all. It isn't in your muscles, it's not in your heart, it's not even in your bones. The number one benefit that has researchers so incredibly excited is happening in the one organ that uses more energy pound for pound than any other part of your body. And the number one surprise is brain power. Your brain is an energy hog. It uses about 20% of your body's total energy supply. And just like your muscles, it runs on ATP to fuel every single thought. So, what happens when you give that energy hog more fuel? You get some absolutely incredible results.
I mean, just look at these numbers from studies on older adults. A 20% improvement on memory tests, and a staggering 40% improvement in working memory. That's your ability to juggle information in your head. This is exactly why neurologists are paying such close attention. This is a potential game changer for helping our brains stay sharp as we get older.
So, we've covered the what and the why. Everything from stronger muscles all the way to a sharper brain. Now for the best part, the ridiculously simple how. How do you actually put all this amazing science to work for yourself?
And the how, it is almost laughably simple. You just take 1 5-gram scoop of plain creatine monohydrate. That's the one with the most research, it's the most effective, and it's the cheapest. You mix it into a glass of water, stir till it dissolves, and you drink it. That's it. The single most important thing is just consistency. Make it a non-negotiable part of your day, every day.
So from a sharper mind and a healthier heart to stronger bones and a fired-up metabolism, the evidence is just overwhelming. The real question isn't whether it works. The question is how it could work for you. Out of all of this, which one of these benefits would change your life the most?